Devin up there.
Yeah, we were in ordinance one, not just the.
SUV sales, I've explained that. Monitor for council chambers. Todd is looking into this, but I'll go over it a little bit and then give it to him if he wants to say something. The Attorney General's office now says that in order to participate, to have the public participate, you have to be able to not only hear, but visually see the person as they speak. That's the in other words, we couldn't have somebody participate by conference call and that be okay. That's not okay anymore. It's got to be both audio visual. To that end, I asked Todd to look into perhaps the possibility of us putting in this room a large screen, which we could then connect by computer, and then we could conduct a meeting, both audibly and visibly, by use of a monitor. If someone could not attend our meeting and wanted to participate, that's a council member, we could do it that way, because our personnel, our ordinances would allow that. If the public wish to see what's going on without driving up here when it's cold, they could do that too. We could put it on that thing and, they could pick it up on TV, it could be broadcast that way, and they could both see and hear. The downside, of course, it's gonna cost money to put a monitor up there and set up a computer to do it. So the good thing is it would allow, if someone can't be here, it would allow you to continue to participate. The bad thing costs money, as everything else does. Those are the competing interests. Now, Todd has looked into a bit of it. What have you found as far as the monitor situation?
I haven't checked with Costco yet. I actually forgot about Costco. But Best Buy has a 75-inch for $650. And the reason I'm going that large is if you guys can read that piece of paper from here, I won't get that TV at all. I want to be able to put the agenda, the financial reports, to where the first half hour of our meeting, you're not just standing there wasting time, because you have no idea what we're looking at. So it could be utilized for the pictures that are coming up later, or ordinances. You could read it right along with us. And use it for, if Paula's not here, she could be on half a screen and the ordinance still be on the other side. I think it could really be utilized in a lot of ways. Either on that wall, or that's kind of a high traffic wall where everybody walks. I don't know if that'd be a great place or not, and I really don't think that would be the spot. But you're looking at $1,500 or less, getting a computer to run it with the TV, with the mount and the wiring. It'd be 15 or less.
Okay. You may have questions, concerns, anything you want to say concerning it. You don't have to vote on it tonight if you don't wish. You can. All it's going to be is, if you want to vote on doing something like this, it would just be to authorize us to go forward with it. If you don't want, if you say no, that's a terrible idea, just forget it.
Let's vote for it.
Does other cities do that?
I don't know of another city that does do it. I have no idea.
The county's doing it.
We do it.
County's doing it, okay.
It'd be good for project reviews.
You know what?
Excellent, when the engineer can't be here in person, you put it on the screen, look at drawings, lay them out, it's.
Councilmember with COVID,
Got two of them.
can attend.
Yes, that's true. So, what's your pleasure? Go forward with it or not?
Go forward.
Go for it.
Motion?
Do we already have money in the
Is there a
budget?
motion on the floor?
Yeah, I made a motion.
No. Okay, is there a second?
Greg choosing Joe. second.
Okay, well, you got it. All right, those in favor of going forward with it then, please signify by raising up the right hand. Yes? Unanimous, okay. Then look into it. Okay, I want to report to you, the reason that desktop computer thing is on there, all that's in the mayor's office we use is a laptop, and it's difficult to do this, so I purchased a docking station for about, how much that's been?
Total's like $150.
$150. So there, if you see that on the financial report, it's for a docking station that has a full-size keyboard and a way to hook up a monitor to that. That's what that's for. On the street surfacing and sign repairs, Todd's primarily gonna be involved in this too, but I can, start you out here by letting you look at, this sheet that you have that has the numbers on it, see that? What's going on is, we're sending JD out to put up signs, and somebody follows him and takes him down, about the time he puts one up. If you look at all those things that are in yellow, those are new signs that you asked you put up, and they've been put up. And then within 2 days, when he goes back to check them, somebody is taking, it looks like a pair of tin snips to me, but the way our posts are made, you know, they got the blade, that the blade fits down inside. They're cutting it on both sides and then like twisting it until they break it off, and they leave the bottom of the sign there, but they take the sign that has the road name, and I don't know what they're doing with it.
Scrapping them, they're made out of aluminum.
Whatever they're doing with them, but there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 so far that have been replaced, and about the time he drives away, somebody's taking it. The one's gone on Turner again, I noticed it driving out yesterday. So, at this point, I have not asked him to put them back, because honestly, talk about throwing good money after bad, he puts them up and 2 days later they're gone. I've asked him to call other people and try to find out in other cities what they're doing. He's called Carrollton, he told me. He spoke to one person up north, I don't know who, and they're telling him they're experiencing the same thing, that people are just stealing them for no good reason, that anybody can figure out other than maybe scrap, I don't know.
We're experiencing the same thing in the county, we're replacing anywhere between 25 and 50 a month.
Yeah.
And,
So,
so
you know, I don't
right
want
now,
to-
we're raising them up on 10-foot posts, we're putting them up 10 feet in the air.
Well, then they bring a ladder.
That's smart.
They'll probably cut the whole post down
Yeah.
there.
So anyway, you know, I told him to quit doing it, just because I'm tired of just sending him out there and put up a sign 2 days later, they're gone. So if y'all want me to send him back and just keep buying signs, I will. But, you know, I've asked Todd to kind of take this over and be in charge of this stuff. So whatever you want to do in that regard is pretty much up to you, and I'll listen to what you want done. So any discussion on it, how you want to go with this, what you gonna do? Keep putting up signs and then cut him down?
Are they taking all the signs, like stops? I know one of the things
They're
that,
defacing the other signs, they're stealing the road signs.
the communities were asking for, stop signs.
And he's put up stop signs all over the place.
And
then
are they taking,
They're not
they're not
stealing
taking
those, as I understand it. What I understand they're doing is defacing those and painting them.
I was approached by a constituent, and they had asked that the post not lean. You know, some saccrete, something for that post when you put the sign up. I'm just saying.
Well, they're gonna lean after people hit them, you know. I think
Well,
that's what they want.
The problem with saccrete, though, I will tell you, Paul, from experience, is that when you get in the ground like that, you're not getting it ever out again. If a car hits it, and it's just a mess. That's why they don't put concrete in the base.
I mean, they
They
just,
put them 3.5 feet deep, so it shouldn't,
Unless somebody hits it, it shouldn't.
yeah, it shouldn't, yeah.
But anyway, what do you wanna do? You wanna keep putting these things up and then take them down, or you wanna, you know, I've asked Todd to just try to look into this situation with JD and try to figure something out. So if y'all are good with that, we'll leave it up to him, hassling him the next time, so.
Have they stolen the ones that you put on 10-foot
I'm
poles?
good with putting it on hold till we
But yeah,
Okay,
find something.
yes, ma'am.
Since it's happening countywide, is the police looking into this?
There's
Turn
a-
around,
there
pass
it
it.
is.
I know, I was looking back at him, but I wanted to ask it this
The
way.
scrap yards will not take them.
And I know that to be true because
Yes.
we tried to send some old ones that we didn't want, and they wouldn't even take them from JD. He said, you know, I'm from the city, I'm getting rid of this, I don't take it.
So what they told us when we contacted them is they will not take street signs or any type of roadway sign from an individual. It would have to be like, for example, the county or the city with a letter from the mayor, the judge exec's office, and a city representative, a check cut to the city before they would scrap an item like that. So they're not going to any of the local scrap yards. Like me and Sean talked earlier, maybe in some kid's basement and garage. My suggestion would be like the county's the one raising them up. If it's kids, chances are they're just breaking them off, probably pitching them. You know, I can't see.
You know, our signs are about at 7 feet right now, I think, 7
actually,
to
some
8.
of them were about 4 feet.
Well, the ones
Right,
that are down
right.
should be 8, but the ones that are up, and if you get a 10 feet, I don't know, do you all see those signs? You see a 10-foot high sign when you drive up?
Is that okay with DOT and all? I don't know.
I'm gonna leave that to you. You get together with JD, you work this thing out, figure out the best way to do this. But they keep stealing them, so that's gonna become Todd's problem.
All this design drive-bys.
Now, you also have there, a packet that has street repairs in it, under F.
I get it, yeah.
And you see the sheet on top has the ones that need repairs. These are not all the ones that need repair. These are the ones that need repair the worst. I see Danny looking. You got a packet, Danny?
Yep.
Okay. Everybody got one? I asked JD to go out and do some photograph. Well, first of all, Sayers lights up. You took a picture of that, so everybody knows that was gonna put up.
Did you see that,
But,
the light on Saturday?
But you'll see the roads, and you'll see the roads that need surfacing, that need work done on them. Harlan, Clavers, Eagle Drive, Pinhook, Lehigh, Russell, and Martin are the ones that have been identified, and you have pictures of there showing why we're saying those particular ones need to be addressed as soon as we can. It's been pointed out to me that some of them may just need, what do you call it, concrete patch or tar, whatever they need, and that's fine. If that's what they need, that's what they get. But I've asked Logan Murphy, he's a local engineer, he's here in the county, he's already pre-approved with the Department of Transportation to do this kind of work, to look at these, and then to get back with us with some bid packages. I know we can't do it now, but we can get things lined up and start doing it in the spring when it does get decent weather and places open up where we can purchase materials. So if you have something you want added, call Todd. Okay? Tell him about it. Other than
Well,
that,
I'm glad to see this get done because
Yes.
I don't think we spent any money in our, street repair last year. And people just complained and don't blame them because
Yeah.
the budget's there for street repairs.
If you go to the fourth page, the picture on it,
What street?
that it has none, that's why I gave you fourth page back.
You're gonna have to show it to me.
It's different. 4 pages back.
On Harlan?
I don't know.
Hold it up again. This thing?
This page here.
Okay, yeah.
If that,
That's Harlan.
Yes, Page 1 has the name of the street, it
Right.
should be stapled together,
Oh.
that's all
Is that how
one
it
street.
works?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Oh,
107
okay.
is Harlan, and,
a lot of this damage here, if at the, you can see where the main focus of the picture is, and then you go down to the neck, where the next seam is. If that seam had been tarred 3 years ago,
Yeah.
this would never have happened.
Yeah,
Right.
it wasn't hard 2 years ago.
It's getting underwashed, and then traffic's breaking it off,
Right,
and that's where we're losing the road at.
exactly. That's why we're gonna start now and stop this.
To Todd's point, the tarring process that was used a couple of years ago, I followed the guy around for a while. It was way too thin. It wasn't tar, it was like
Oil.
the coating for blacktop. It was not a robust tarring effort, and therefore, just to your point, it's more than just these photographs. We had a flawed contractor or material for that last effort.
We're gonna fix that, right, Todd?
We're gonna fix that.
That's right.
Hey, Mayor, on the Claiborne pictures, the first picture,
Yep.
that street was cut on both sides all the way across, like somebody put a pipe in somewhere.
Right.
There's more than just one place on there.
It looks like it, you're right.
And I'm wondering who authorized that job, because it looks like when they put the road back after they cut it to put a pipe in or something, it wasn't done to standards.
I'm wondering who did that out on Turner. You driven on it? I mean, about every 100 feet is yards or feet. So I don't know who did that either, but, you know, all these things are things that need to be addressed at this point because they're just gonna keep getting worse if we don't do something. And as I say, these packets that you have been furnished to Logan as well. He's looking at them, he's putting together recommendations, and then bid packages on them as well. We can do 1, 2, 3, whatever we can do, we can afford, we can start as soon as we can, get it lined up and get it where we can start doing some work when the weather fares up a bit.
I'm really pleased to see that.
It looks nice. I just don't wanna see what's happened in the past on some of the streets, where they keep blacktopping
Yeah.
and they're raising the road level up
We already-
higher.
we already
And then
discussed
people
that.
start complaining about the water and want us to fix it.
Harlan, we discussed that as well, because it's probably going to be raised, but he's already talked about, since it is a concrete street, he's gonna have to raise the storm drains or sewers or whatever those cut things are that are in the side that you, that's gonna have to be raised in order to accommodate the additional surface. So he's aware of that, and.
Will he, Mayor, will he look at the cost of grinding it down, where he doesn't have to
tells me that
raise
he
it?
cannot grind concrete and make it work. That he can overlay it but not grind it. He can
Okay.
tear it up and put in new, he can put blacktop over it, but he can't grind it. But he'll have all that to explain to us when we get the time.
Well, lifting the sewer lid is a lot cheaper than putting in a whole new drainage system.
That's what he said. Okay, other discussion on that? Okay, moving to G. Sean has been with us now for 6 months. This is the end of his probationary period. Because of the way that our personnel policy is written, I believe that it means that he is, you're entitled now to look at a pay increase, isn't that right? And a benefit package for Sean. So the floor is open for that matter. Again, we need a motion. And
I'll make a
second.
motion.
Okay, and what is your motion?
I motion that he gets his raise, but we said we
Which-
don't have
What raise,
Hey.
what raise do you?
we don't have a number right in the personnel policy, then it needs to go by percentage.
I believe he's, I don't want to embarrass anyone, your salary at this one's $20.
Yes, per hour, yes.
All right, now, is there a motion concerning the amount?
Yes, there is. I
Alright.
think it should at least be $23.50,
Okay,
and I think,
and the benefit package be included?
and I think his benefit package should be a family benefit package.
Okay, that, I believe that's what's included in the policy, is it not?
Just individual.
Individual. So you're saying $23.50 and a family policy
Yes.
benefit package? All
How
right,
much
that's,
is that?
I have no idea.
Can we do that? Since we have another employee that may or may not be getting that
I
package?
haven't looked at the policy to that extent. I can and see if there's, would that be, does it say that for both, or do you know? Did you look at it?
I have not.
Okay.
I
And
know we
you're
pay
talking
for,
about Kentucky retirement, so you're talking about a lot of money there.
I know, I
Okay,
know.
so can we look at how much it is and
We
then
can.
come back and vote on
We
it?
can, we can actually study that if you wish and bring it back, but it should be retroactive to the ninth, whatever we do.
Yeah.
and he's eligible for life insurance through us as well.
Correct.
Like through the other employees.
Yes. So if you want to come back, look at the personnel policy and see where you want to go as far as numbers and insurance, and then come back on this. I'm going to ask you to come back in 2 days to vote on these policies here, so if you want to do it, you want to do it that quickly?
Do you want to roll the dice in 2 days, or do you want to take a vote on tonight?
Roll the dice, no matter what, family package or
What
nothing?
happens?
It would be fairer to come back in 2 days.
Yeah, I think so.
Y'all study what you want to do.
This is nice, I appreciate it, guys.
I know this is the first time that you've had a chance to look at this, so look at the policies, see what you want, formulate it, come back in 2 days ready to make a motion on this, okay?
I'd just like to add that I think Sean has more than paid his salaries just in what he's found in the unpaid taxes.
Yes,
I agree.
he's paid for his salary and also thanks helping you with the Oakwood project.
If it's possible under our policies, I'd say we pay fair, and I believe Megan's was at 26.
We'll look at it and come back in a couple of days.
Yeah, so, but he's more than paid for himself and what he's done. I think all of us here are united that
Absolutely.
We don't want to give him the big head.
This could be an auction process. I hear 3 and I hear 6. Thank you guys very much, it's very kind. I do appreciate it.
I'm going to skip H for right now and go to order of old business and go to Oakwood and ask Joe to bring us up to date on where we are there.
Okay, I'd like to share with you some new developments, and the new developments are based on,
Pull your thing there a little closer. Can everybody hear him? Okay?
can you hear me?
There you go.
All right. The new developments are based on a document that we asked for more than a year ago, but were denied. And it's basically it's the grant. It's the agreement between the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Department, Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways, and the City of Crittenden, and a meeting that I already had scheduled for last Friday. The mayor and Sean and I came in and got this document Thursday of last week. And it's basically a contract between the city and the Transportation Cabinet on how the project has to be executed. It's very robust. There's 15 pages. If you haven't seen it, I recommend everybody on city council look at this, because it's going to change what we have to do and how we have to do it. And I'm not going to go through all 15 pages, but there are some painful details we need to understand and why it's going to change the approach. First of all, this document was for a grant for $121,775 that we would be eligible for reimbursement for if we do all these things. The design must be a curb and gutter design, and it has to be for a length of 0.239 miles. Okay, that equates to basically the full street design. So the smaller scope, crest of the hill down, is off the table if we want a penny of reimbursement. The ditch redesign, the three options we were looking at, is off the table. It's got to be the robust. Basically, it's the full street, less about 60 feet near Violet Road, curb and gutter design, the low point drains. Here's where it starts to get interesting. Only licensed design services and consultants who are pre-qualified to do the work by the Department of Transportation and approved by the District 6 engineer in Covington can do the work. Neither of the engineering firms that we talked with and have been working for us for the last 11 months, Caliber Engineering or Carr Engineering, are pre-qualified. The Department of Transportation is much like a business. You have pre-qualified design services, pre-qualified construction people, pre-qualified approval of procurement. This model procurement code is a part of that. None of that was done. Let me go through some of the others. So in our meeting on Friday, the two design engineering companies that we used had never seen this document. So they basically said, we're not qualified to do this work. We're not pre-approved. Now, as far as construction contractors, the only bidder we had was Brass Eagle. We don't know if they're pre-qualified. I personally doubt it, because to do this amount of work and then follow the review and approval process of the District 6 Department of Transportation, I think it's only construction contractors with deep pockets that can afford to do it. So what that means is the design work that we did can't be used. It's got to be redone. Okay, it's got to be done by somebody that is approved, their drawing stamped, and they've got to be reviewed and approved by the District 6 engineer. We've got to follow the specifications for the project. Those two design companies used basically the best they could, the Grant County standards. However, there's the Department of Highway Design Manual, the Department Standard Drawings, the Department Standard Specifications for Road and Bridges, the Department's Drainage Manual, the Department's Structural Design Manual, and the American Association of Highway Transportation Officials, and on and on and on. We barely met the Grant County specifications. It's got to meet all those hurdles. The chief engineer for the department must approve before awarding any contract of work. Those designs never went to the District 6 engineer. Material purchases. Let's say we hire a pre-approved construction contractor, he wants to buy the pipe. He can't buy it till the District 6 engineer approves the purchase order for doing that. Anything that has to do with real estate, the right-of-way, that has to be approved and signed off on by the District 6 engineer. That wasn't done. While it may be a legal right-of-way and easement, that was not done. So where we are is basically, this is a do-over. We've got to start from the beginning again. Now, when we met with the two engineering teams, they are putting together and going to be sending a thumb drive with every drawing, every specification, every document we have electronically, and they'll get it to us here Friday. And that can be used for conceptual work with whatever pre-qualified engineering company we choose to use. And there is one here in Grant County. And there's been some conversations with that one individual of that company, but has not seen the details of what we've done so far. And Jim, our mayor's had some conversations with higher level management in the transportation cabinet to confirm that if we want to be reimbursed, we got to follow this. We never saw it. We were denied that. So it's going to be a do-over. Let me see. I'm going to end this here. So the grant was a 3-year grant, and the timetable starts on it, looks like end of October, 1st of November of 19. We got 3 years. So basically we've got, if we hope to get any reimbursement, we've got 1 year and 10 months. Now, that's horrible news for the people of Oakwood that we've lost 11 months. If there's any bright side in this, it's easier to do rework on paper than it is to do rework in pipe that's in the ground. And that's where we could have been had this not been caught. There's absolutely no good reason that we are where we are, none whatsoever. It didn't have to be that way. But we are there. That work is lost. The engineering dollars we've spent are lost. I've tried to quantify what we've spent so far and the 2 bills that are yet to come. It's around $15,000 that, for all intents and purposes, are other than the conceptual work that will help the next engineering team to develop a design that we've got a prayer of getting approved. That should go faster. But there's level of approval, incredible levels of approval all along the way. We have to have daily inspection reports on the field construction, and those have to go to the District 6 engineer. Any change orders that happen through the course have to be approved by the District 6 engineer. So there's stop points and there's hurdles all along the way in this. And it's not flexible. This is a contract that was signed by the mayor and signed by the legal services of the Department of Transportation, Department of Highway Cabinet. So that's where we are. After the meeting, I'll be happy to talk in more detail if you want it. But those are the highlights. That's where we are. Other council members, Sean has a copy of this.
Joe, how did you find this? When did you find this?
What, I saw it first time Thursday.
I can answer that. Sean and I were preparing for the meeting with the design team, and Sean started digging through whatever records he could find. Council had been denied this. I know you know that. Council had been denied to see this material. He found this in a folder, and I don't know how the folder was marked, but we did run across it, and he brought it, hollered at me and said, "You see this?" And no, I've never seen it. But once he found it, he and I read it, and it was obvious that from the word go, since council was frozen out of this thing, it is signed by the mayor, by Mayor Patton. It's signed by her. On December, it looks like, in December of 2019. So she had to see it, but nobody else saw it until we found it there preparing for that design team meeting. And then once we started reading it, we were dead in the water, because the first question I asked them was, "Are you all pre-qualified?" And their answer was no. being, and that's one of the foundational requirements of this document, so. Really, what
I
Joe
wish
was
you could-
outlining is what's happened, it's not Joe's fault. This should have been given to council, this should have been given to, everybody should have had an understanding of this thing before this money was spent, to be honest. But
I
they
wish you
didn't.
could have seen the faces of the two engineering teams when you asked that question. Their mouths dropped open, their eyes turned like saucers. You gotta be kidding.
So, we are where we are. If we wanna get that money, we've gotta back up now and try to fix this thing. So, I just want everybody to be aware of it. Read it before you leave, or take it home with you and read it. Make sure you understand it now, because this is going to be a real hurdle if we're able to do this in this time period, at this point, I'll tell you, it's gonna be very difficult. Now, getting past that and getting to the point where, I did speak with Logan Murphy, he is local, he's in Williamstown, he's an Hickson man. He is pre-qualified with the Transportation Cabinet, he's done work with them before, he's done designs with them before. So I sent this document to him, one day last week, I've forgotten when we did it, Sean, it was one day last
Friday,
week.
at least Friday.
You did, well, whenever. And he's going to be looking at it, then Joe and I are going to meet with him. We're gonna try to get a meeting with Mr. Yeager, I believe is the gentleman we need to speak with, I think that's the one in District 6. And go over this with him and see where we are. If we can salvage something out of it, we will. If we can't, we'll know. Part of the problem we're going to run into now is with this COVID stuff going on. Everybody in the Transportation Cabinet, I'll tell you, all the way up to the Director's office, the Director's name is Ray, are all telecommuting. So I don't know when we're gonna be able to get a meeting like this together. I think this is gonna be very difficult to do on telephones, to be honest with you. I think we need to see people, but we'll find that out. So that's where we are.
Through the course of all this, we'll have to get updated, new design, new estimates, new bidding, and all of that,
And it
so.
has to be done by an approved engineer. So we're kind of starting there. But anyway, that's where we are. So please read that thing. Joe's gonna need help. He's gonna be riding shotgun on this thing as much as he can from this point forward. But he can use all the help he can get, I'm sure, and we welcome it. So, other questions on it? That's what we're gonna do, yes.
I can just say, I can personally vouch for Logan Murphy and his work. And
Good, okay,
known him for almost 30 years.
okay, always good to hear. Most people probably do know. Anything else on it? Where we are? Okay. The city road project, we already went over, I think. That's something that we already talked about. Todd, you want to tell about the office door thing you suggested in here?
Okay. I'm gonna have to just walk it.
Go ahead.
I've got, the plan is, gonna keep this door here. We're gonna put a door right here. That way, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, GED classes, we can have in this building without them having access to confidential files in there. Should be a